Hey everyone, Ira from Holy Smoke Grilling and Barbecue here. So let me start my story about this. So a little over a month ago, I was actually looking at getting an Expert Grill Commodore from Walmart. I saw some guys doing some videos on that. The price was really good. It was a nice large grill. And I was actually seeing if the price would come down. I was seeing a lot of people out in the Midwest, like Ohio, Illinois, some of the Midwest states, getting those on clearance for like $80. I would have been happy with about $150 to $200, but it never got down to that level. So a little over a month ago, I'm sitting in my living room in my lounge chair, and my wife is talking to her friend across the street, and they were talking about how many grills I have. And I heard my wife saying, yeah, he's looking at a pellet grill. And I heard her friend on the phone saying, what does he need another pellet grill for? Oh, look, here's one for $168 at Lowe's. And I'm shaking my head going, what are you talking about? And my wife goes, look, she just sent you the link. Take a look at it. And I got the link, and it was for a Pit Boss PB700, but the link said $384. So I live on Long Island in Islip, Bayshore. I called up the Bayshore Lowe's, and I gave them the part number, and I asked them, A, was it in stock, and B, what was the price? So the guy got back to me after I waited a few minutes, and he said he had 3 in stock, and the price was $168.68. And I said, you have it in stock? And my wife just looked at me and said, just go pick it up. And this was about 7 p.m. on a Sunday night, a little over a month ago. I brought it home. I was going to wait until the following weekend to get it burned in and set up. What I did was I came home on Monday night, I put it together. Tuesday night, I burned it in, and Wednesday night of that week, I made kielbasa, my first meal on the grill, and I was very, very happy with it. So let me go through some of the pros and cons, and we'll take a look at some of the features of this grill. So this is the Pit Boss PB700, and it's a pretty decent size. It says it has 700 square inches of cooking area, and what's really weird is the distance between the front and the back. I could stick my whole arm in there, and it's really deep. You know, it's a normal size width, but it's really, really deep. And you have this top rack, which I don't have in right now. So the grill is run by this type of fuel, and these are the Pit Boss Competition Blend pellets. There's a control panel here. You can prime it. You can put some pellets into the burn pot, on and off switch. I don't have it plugged in right now. And these are your temperatures. The biggest complaint I hear from people is there's no 250, there's no 275, no 375, and 275 is probably the biggest complaint I hear. I've gotten around that. I don't think it's that big a deal, but a lot of people have a big problem with that. And I'm going to take this apart because I have to vacuum it out, and I'll show you what the inside looks like. So this is what it looks like underneath the cooking grate, and this is the heat deflector shield. So when you pull the handle like that, it opens up direct access to the flame, and you can put a sear on meats, hot dogs, burgers, whatever. I've used this on about 5 different cooks, and it works beautifully. The heat deflector plate is tilted downwards, and all the juices run down these channels in the front and the back. And on the side here is the grease pan. And when I take out the deflector plate, you'll see clearly the grease channel. So I took out the deflector plate, and here is the burn pot. So you can see that hole there. There's an auger that takes pellets from there and twists around, and the pellets move in and drop in one by one. And there's a heating element down at the bottom. I don't know if you can see it there. So that glows and sets the wood pellets on fire, and then what happens is this fan kicks in and makes it combust into some nice flame. This is the grease channel I told you about. The other end of that hole is where the bucket is, and these are the grooves for the top shelf. There's also, strangely enough, a hole for a chimney, and I've seen some videos from Paulie's Barbecue, I think. He's up in Canada, where he added a chimney, and he plugged up these holes in the back where the vents are, and he used it with a chimney. Now, a lot of people Like chimneys, I couldn't care less. The thing works great without it. So some of the pros are it doesn't have a chimney and it just uses these holes. The air naturally rises and comes out of those holes when you cook. And also some of the cons is it doesn't have a chimney. And some people have a huge problem with that. So I'm going to give this a quick vacuum and start to put it back together, and then we'll talk turkey or steak or pork shoulder or ribs. Talk to you in a minute. Okay, so I just cleaned up the grill. I took everything out, vacuumed it out, sprayed it down with some cooking spray. Here's what it looks like with the top shelf. As you can see, you could slide that in and out a little bit. When I did some ribs, I actually was able to put 2 racks of baby back ribs, nice and trimmed, front to back. It looks like I probably would have room for about 5 to 7 racks of ribs in here in total, which is amazing. Space-wise. And normally when I do use this, I take this rack out just because of the depth. Again, it's kind of challenging it sometimes, and I think I burned my hand a couple of times, but I usually take the top rack out unless I know I'm going to need it.